Hey, Tim Hazelo here. A lot of people have asked me how the hearing went today. So Tim Hazelo from TNTT, Truth Not Trash. That's the YouTube channel that I'm going to post this video on. I'm also going to share it on Facebook and with some other folks. But a lot of people have been asking me about the hearing today. The Hazelo, ABUHL, and Peterson against Island County hearing happened in Snohomish. It went down at 8:30 this morning. It was interesting, to say the least. It was an emotional roller coaster. I had times where I was excited and ecstatic, thinking that that we're on the right track and things are going to happen good. And then there were other times where I was sweating bullets and worried about the future. So it can go both ways. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, just to give you guys an idea of what happened and what the future may hold. First of all, I'm coming to you from Linden. I came up here to visit one of my favorite sporting goods shops here, Dave's Sports. Free America up here. It's kind of an amazing thing. There's American flags everywhere and Trump signs and things. I love it. So a few things happened. First of all, we had to decide whether or not there was going to be an emergency injunction put in place. That wasn't decided today. He's going to make a written decision on that, and he'll put out a written opinion over the next few days on that, so we'll know about that. That's not a showstopper. That's a step. Okay, so whether that step moves us forward or has no effect on us, that's just the way it is. Hopefully he puts the injunction in place, because they should not be requiring masks for us to watch the poll workers work. They should not be requiring masks for us to do anything. Unless we're performing surgery on somebody and we don't want to spit in their open chest cavity, there should be no mask requirement. Masks have been proven to not be effective against viruses, and I don't need to get into that. Anyway, so let me get right back to this. So there's that. So we're waiting on that. There was a couple of motions. There was a motion. We filed a motion to enjoin Tracy ABUHL and Tim Hazelo with James Peterson. That motion did not hold up, but the judge did decide that Tim Hazelo and Tracy ABUHL have standing to go on further with the case without enjoining on James's case. So now James is going to have to push his case forward on his own. So he's going to have to push his case forward on his own, and if not, that's no harm, no foul on ours. I know he's got an overseas job that he's working right now, so he might not be able to, but Tracy and I'll continue to move forward on this. So the judge is allowing us to move forward, and we're going to get a summary judgment at some point in time. So those arguments haven't happened yet. I think they will happen, and it's going to happen very soon. The third thing was the attorneys on the other side and the defendants on the other side were trying to get us to give them some crazy amount of thousands of dollars for all the work they had to do to defend themselves in this case, right? Like me as a defendant on a criminal case, can I sue them for thousands and thousands of dollars because they're pressing frivolous charges against me? I don't know. Can I? I don't think I can. I think I just have to suck it up like everybody else does who's found innocent somewhere down the road. Oh, sorry, you had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to defend yourself. But look at the bright side. You were found innocent, right? Okay. It's a little deceitful there, but the point is it's ridiculous. The judge did not give them the sanctions that they requested, so I look at that as a win. And then the third thing was they wanted to strike some of the evidence and testimonies that were set forward in the motions, which the judge did strike that. We were okay with that because the things that they wanted to strike didn't have as much material in accordance with the law that we thought they might in the very beginning. So overall, I think this was a win. We'll find out, right, as this moves forward, how strong of a case it is. But I do believe that the judge understands that the document we signed to get in and to observe said nothing about mask mandates, said nothing about masks at all. And so the argument is still there. Does she have the authority to create that mask mandate? And if so, where does that limit stop? Can she require you to wear a burqa? Can she require that you have long pants on rather than shorts? Can she require that you wear shoes instead of sandals? Can she require that you shave? There's so many things there. If this is let to stand, that this auditor can just arbitrarily make up rules as she deems necessary, let alone any other politician, then that's a big can of worms that's going to open up, and all of a sudden we're going to have a lot more freedoms taken away and a lot more restrictions put on us. There's things in place, you guys. There's things in place for this. If the health department came in and said that there's a health emergency right now, people are dropping dead from COVID, it's a pandemic or an epidemic, and this is what we need to do to try and curb it, I don't know if I'd necessarily agree with that. However, that's the health department. That's trained people making that decision. That's not an auditor. So how can you expect the health department to go and tell the auditor how to process ballots, right? The health department has their legislative authority, and that's to dictate health policy. The auditor has her legislative authority, and that's to dictate policy based around how we count ballots, how we process elections. Those two don't mix. If she wanted a mask mandate, she could have went through the proper channels, which she did not do, and asked the health department to put one in place, which she did not do, because it wasn't something they would do. There was no medical emergency. So that's where we stand right now. Once again, I think this was a win for the Hazelo and now ABUHL, Hazelo and ABUHL only, not Pedersen no more. I think it was a win for our side to move forward and be able to present our evidence and not have to have these sanctions and things being held over our heads at this point in time. So I appreciate you guys all for showing up. It was a much bigger crowd than I thought it would be. Once again, I want to reiterate that we are the party and we are the people of law and order. So when the judge says, don't make a lot of noise and don't let your feelings be known in the court and don't record, please don't do that, because even though I'm not the one doing that, I don't want that to reflect poorly on our case. And our case is your case. Our case is your case. If they win this case and any politician can just arbitrarily do whatever they want from here on out, this is going to be a pretty sorry state of affairs. Anyway, check out my channel, TNTT, Truth Not Trash with Tim. It's on YouTube, or Tim Hazelo for America on Facebook. So check those things out. You'll get more information there. That's where this video will be posted. And I'll post another one regarding the criminal charges against Tracy and I later on tonight or tomorrow, letting you know where we stand with that. But now we're in a waiting period. We're waiting to see what the judge's opinion on the emergency injunction is, and then we're waiting to get dates on when we're going to argue the validity of the mask mandate in general. All right, well, this is Tim Hazelo, going back into my favorite sporting goods store there, Dave's, in Linden, and I hope you guys come up here and support this patriotic organization, and I hope you guys continue to support Tracy and I, because we're fighting for you. All right, Tim Hazelo signing off. God bless.